Well, there you have it. The Meatloaf is done. Like most other great Meatloafs before him, he was only created once, but his career served many times. For a Meatloaf that served off one great album, that lived off one great album from the 70s, I mean, the guy had a great run. And I knew a lot of people that worked for him, and I might have done several gigs with him, but I know I did one gig with him absolutely for sure, and that was at the Roseland in New York City. I have friends of mine that talk about the Roseland all the time, that the kind of romance about it. Oh, it was this great venue right in the city, and it was this place where people go dancing in the 1920s. There's the Rose downstairs. The Roseland was a piece of shit fucking building, and the owner wanted to tear it down, but the city wouldn't let him because it was a landmark building. So his plan was to do nothing with it and just let it fall over in on itself so he could eventually sell it and put a high-rise there, which is exactly what eventually happened. The Roseland was the only place that I've ever been to where they used mice traps to catch the cockroaches. That's how big the cockroaches were. You knew if you went to Roseland, you never put your bag on the floor because you'd be taking home giant cockroaches that would attack your family. So we're doing this Comedy Central gig in Roseland. And the pass for it is on the wall back here somewhere. I even looked for it, couldn't find it. But we're doing this Comedy Central gig, and they came in, they actually painted the place because the place was so dingy. They painted it just for this gig, and Meatloaf was one of the acts. Now my job was, I was the monitor guy on stage. The monitor mixer, as most TV gigs, did not have what they call a line of sight with the stage, could not see the artist. So there has to be a liaison between the artist and the monitor mixer, and that's my gig, that's what I do. I communicate with the artist what they need, I communicate back with the monitor guy, and that's how we do it. Now, I don't remember the other bands that were there, but I remember Meatloaf. So, I approach him like I do, and you approach an artist to talk about what they want in their monitor mix. You don't go up to him and go, yo, motherfucker, what's up? What do you want to be hearing and shit? There's a different approach. There's a finer approach that's done here. So I go up and introduce myself to him, and I got my headset on, and he says to me, would you do me a favor and tell the monitor guy to get the chickens and the ducks out of the fucking wedges? I said, okay, no problem. And I walked over back to the side of the stage, and I talked to the monitor mixer. I said, at your earliest opportunity, would you be so kind and take all of the chickens and the ducks out of the speakers for Mr. Meatloaf? And I walked back out there, and I said, how's that? And he said, that's much better. That's much better. And I never did find out what the chickens and the ducks were all about. We survived it. He complained a little after that, and that's my only Meatloaf story. He was a great entertainer, obviously, had a great album, and we all know about that. Will they put ketchup on his coffin? I don't know. But, hey, goodbye to Meatloaf, man. The Meatloaf is done.